supposedly we are live.
Are you sure?
No. Fire up my laptop next to me real quick and open up YouTube if I'm browser, huh? Should say that I'm live. To your channel. Yeah, look at that. We are in fact live. Fantastic.
Oh, that is wonderful.
All right. Hey, thank you guys so much for joining me today. I am so excited and happy to be here. My name's Grimmy. I'm going to be one of your two hosts for today. I've got my buddy and cohort, the Human Heater here, who's going to be helping me out. And we are the
Yo.
judges for Grimlyte Games' first ever Game Jam. Say that 10 times fast. How we doing today, Heater?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you today?
I'm fantastic. Thanks for asking. So
Absolutely.
this is how we're gonna do this, guys. Live stream. It's gonna be a raw cut. There's nothing gonna be too crazy here. So just a second. I am gonna go ahead and link this into our Discord, so that way anybody who happens to be around knows that this is going on. You guys can hop in, chat with us, and see what is going on. There will be an edited version of this going up on the YouTube channel later. And what we're gonna try and do here is I'm going to try and have it set up so we're going to play the same submissions at the same time. So you'll be able to see on the left side of the screen or right side, I'm not sure how it's mirroring, will be either myself or Human Heater, and then the opposite side of the screen will be the other person. Right? So as of right now, yeah, you should be able to see his background. Be Jammin. Let me flip over real quick to my other screen. Boom, there it is. All right. Like we've still got him on screen. We've got me on screen. Yep. So this is going to be me right over here. Okay. Yeah. Go
Oh,
ahead
and
and
we
link.
should also mention this is, since it is the first one, be a little nice to us. This is a test. We're going to go ahead and in the future ones, we're going to fix whatever goes wrong, do more of whatever goes right, etc., etc. So
Yes.
keep that in mind.
So that is absolutely a good point to make. While this is completely rough and raw, this is the first one. We're not sure if this is going to be how we're going to be conducting everything in the future. We're going to see what works. We're going to see what doesn't work. So absolutely, if you've got some thoughts and opinions that you'd like to share with us in the comments section, that'd be great. Obviously, try and keep them relevant and nice, but a little bit of criticism's fine too. So let's see, what game should we hop into here first?
Ooh. Honestly, I think we start with the Windows downloaded game, just so that we can get that out of the way. Code Red Hospital.
Perfect. Sounds good. All right, guys. So we're going to be playing Code Red Hospital first. This was a submission that came into us from Arl Games. Thank you so much for participating, Arl Games. Looking forward, checking out what? No compatible downloads were found. Uh-oh.
Oh,
What?
that's because they didn't. Okay, so that's a really funny thing with itch. If you don't specify which file, like which software it runs on, so like Windows or Mac, it just won't give you the download on itch. So you will have to download it through the website.
Okay, fantastic.
Mhm.
Good to know.
So that is a small little thing. So I did end up downloading it on. Yeah, I ended up downloading it earlier because I noticed that. And so everything like that. Let me go ahead and change this over to my secondary screen.
Oh, look at that. I actually already downloaded it too.
Wonderful.
Let's go ahead
But
and
yeah, this way we
extract
can just
this.
kind of get that out of the way.
Okay. Fantastic. All right, we're extracted. I'll be in just a second.
Awesome.
Nice. So as we're going through this, guys, the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna look at this from the gamer lens.
Hmm.
Okay.
See what
And
we like, what's fun, and just kind of think about that like in the just we don't know anything about game dev at this point.
yeah, no, that's a really good way to
Hmm.
put it.
Hmm.
Okay. Yeah, so we're hopping right in here. We've got our play button, our quit button. Oh, mine
I
just
think I'm
rebooted.
gonna press quit. No.
Yeah, 'cause that's how you start off with it. So
Yeah.
immediately coming into this, looking at this as a
Hmm.
gamer, I'm liking the little car models. Obviously, we've got
Hmm.
a hospital sign here, so we know that we're getting into something that is involving a hospital.
Yes, and I do like that the models all work together instead of being like kind of different across them all. Like they're all still that kind of low resolution or low poly style.
Yeah, so everything kind of
Hmm.
meshes together well.
Hmm.
You don't get that really
Hmm.
weird conflicting thing like if you download two different
Hmm.
asset packs from two
Yeah.
very very different artists in your
Hmm.
game. So
Like,
right there,
like
okay.
I don't know if this was an asset pack or not, but it looks like it was all working together. So, good job.
All right, I went ahead and I pressed play. We're hopping right to this.
Okay. A remote hospital has come under attack. You're deployed urgently, accompanied by Carlos, your subordinate. No backup, no signal, just you and Carlos. It's up to you to take control. Issue orders, contain any further threats, and evacuate the survivors safely. Press Y to continue.
Oh man, all right, wow, getting right into it. The stakes sound pretty high.
Hmm. Oh,
Oh, is this a cinematic?
oh, okay.
Oh yeah, it must be. I was like, wait, I'm not in control.
Hmm.
Oh, cool. All right, all right.
Z, S, Q, or D to move. Hmm. Move your mouse to look around. The
Saying
mouse
Z.
movement's a little off.
Oh, I'm
Hmm.
I'm
Like
very
Q.
struggling
Okay.
to move my mouse.
Oh, yeah. The sensitivity seems to be really low.
Okay.
Um,
I just tried cranking the sensitivity up on my mouse.
and it's not going to be ZQSD. It's just going to be WASD if you got that kind of keyboard.
Okay. So potentially that's I imagine that's just an issue of different keyboards, right? It's probably
I
an
would assume
international
so.
keyboard.
Hmm. Um,
Oh, okay. So you all right, yeah, you just really have to hammer on the mouse to turn your
mhm.
view. Love it. Okay.
I like the voice acting.
Oh,
Like
good.
I'm assuming this is an AI voice or something like that, but it I was not expecting that whatsoever.
Oh no. I've lost the ability to turn and look around.
Okay, it also seems like instead of like the interact button's a space bar, I think. Or maybe it just disappears after a while, I don't know.
All right. So can hold the shift key to run faster, move around.
Mhm.
I did
Yes.
unfortunately do what gamers tend to do when they play games. I have broken something. I literally cannot turn around anymore. But the good news is I can hit the escape key, which brings up to the
Oh,
menu, so it looks like I can just kind of start it over.
oh, oh. I did not mean to shoot my gun, but the keys seem to work sometimes. It's a very interesting thing. Um, and so I'm not also not completely sure which ones are for the international keyboard or which ones are for the just basic keyboards that'll work. I'm also not seeing any enemies yet. It also appears like you can shoot with the control button.
Okay. All right. Now let's see if I can advance this before I break it again.
Oh shoot, I'm running out of ammo. No problem, Carlos. Can I loot from my enemies? No, it does not appear so.
Thank you for coming to help us. But I can't leave this place without retrieving my research.
Oh, look at
I
that!
need
So
a
I
specific kit for
finally got
that.
to where I could listen to the voice. I think it's definitely AI generated, but I mean, you know, that's
Mm-hmm.
still cool, especially for a game jam. Adding in some of
Mm-hmm.
that stuff
The kit
helps the
we need is
immersion.
in the ambulance.
Mm-hmm.
Send your teammate to get it, or I'll have to go myself.
Send your teammate to get it.
Yeah, it doesn't seem very responsive, but it does seem like it does work at the same time.
It just takes a minute to turn
Just takes a
around.
second, yeah. Yeah, it's definitely.
So
Oh,
I will say though, I've noticed that there are moments where it does seem a lot more responsive than
hmm
than other times.
Boss, do you want me to go get the kit from the ambulance for the doctors?
You can also put your gun. You can like
Sir,
holster it
I'll need you
or
to come with me.
take it out
Take
with
this gun just
space.
in case.
Okay.
Thank you, Carlos. I love you, Carlos.
All right. Come with me, sir.
All right,
Why
Carlos,
is there
let's do it.
Why are there just 10 bullets in a hospital room?
It sounds like it might be a U.S. hospital.
Actually, yeah, that sounds about right.
Are those
Also, it's an
bad guys?
interesting revolver with 7 bullets.
Oh,
Boss, it was an ambush. I need cover now.
Oh, shoot.
okay.
How do
All
you
right.
crouch? I feel like this needs a control panel in the setting, in like the menu. I think it needs an options
Thank
menu,
you,
I think.
sir.
Just in,
Yeah. So I mean
Mhm.
that's a really cool first point. So I think I've played I've
Mhm.
played enough now that I can probably make a little bit of a laundry list of things that I'm seeing right so far out of the
Mhm.
gate. And as a
All
gamer,
right.
that is
Come with me,
absolutely one of the
sir.
things that is most important. And unfortunately, it can be overlooked a lot without realizing it. Having an options menu that allows the player to change bindings, adjust sensitivities, you know, things that just can really help the individual with their immersion as well as their enjoyability for the game. Definitely a good thing to consider. Now, that being said, obviously, this is a game jam game, right? So things like that typically don't go in until you get to the final polish aspect of your game. So that's kind of like my take looking at it from the gamer's view. It's like, wow, this is really frustrating. I can't adjust all these settings. But then from a game dev view, understanding, you know, the
Mhm.
limitations with time, right? You can't necessarily
Mhm.
add all that stuff in right out of the gate. But this does go to show that from the game dev perspective, it's also very good to make sure that you test through your games as well. Because I know if I
Mhm.
was, you know, setting this up, trying to build this, and this is the, what I was having to deal with the sensitivity and looking around, um, I would definitely adjust that. And because it seems like we're both kind of dealing with that, then that makes me think that this is, you know, not necessarily what's the word I want to use there? Like an isolated incident, right? Like if you had perfect control over everything, I would say, oh, okay, so there must be some settings internally or what's being used for my computer versus your computer, and something like that, you know, maybe a little bit more in line with what the creator was originally using.
Thanks for
So
bringing the
always
kit
good
back.
to test
I can
things
now
through
transport my
as you're
bacterial
going through and
cultures.
building.
Give me 15 minutes to
I
complete the
definitely agree.
process.
Yeah.
Then we can
Um,
leave.
Having maybe like even just a friend play it or getting someone in like the server or something to test it out just to see like what they noticed, what notes they have, etc. Just get someone to play test it. hmm
Well, I mean, I didn't think I was going to spend as much time as we have on this game, but there's
hmm
actually a lot of content.
Approach him and use the left or right arrow to choose the order to give. Okay.
No weapons in here. I can't focus unless you
Sir,
put your gun away.
there's ammo in this room.
E.
Look at that. We've got a little status bar for the doctor working.
Mm-hmm.
I
I'm
think
significantly further than you then. Okay.
Oh yeah,
Watch out,
you're a lot.
boss.
I had to restart because I broke the game. Yeah,
Oh,
The-
fair enough. Actually, yeah.
I had looked up at my other monitor to see what you were doing. I'm like, oh yeah, you're definitely a lot higher than me.
Mhm. Although it
Oh.
is definitely an interesting thing where it's not very telling where they are. Like they could be literally anywhere, you know.
So
And there's
I
no
just
real
hit my Alt
message
key
of like,
and it zooms in the gun a little bit.
ooh, okay.
Oh, taking fire. Where am I taking fire from? Oh, hi. Hey, what's up, buddy? What are you doing behind that couch?
Oh, we can leave this place now. Oh, did I just finish it? Okay. I'm guessing. Yep, I'm gonna go to the car. Ooh, there's a person over here. Although I gotta say, hitting a headshot in this game is definitely a fun experience.
Oh no, my turning has broken again.
Oh, did your turning fix itself for a moment?
Well, so this is what ended up happening to me in the first playthrough that we were going through. Is I got stuck in one direction. I couldn't actually turn left or right anymore.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, I won. You
Oh, good.
rescued the medical team and secured the data. Mission accomplished.
All right, great.
Awesome.
So hopefully you guys were paying closer attention to Heater's screen than you were to mine, because at least that way you would have gotten to see the whole
See the
game
finish.
be played through
Yeah.
start to finish. All right.
So, I feel like it needed to be more responsive. It did kind of sell that like low budget kind of style. Like it almost gave a more classic Doom Eternal vibe,
Yeah.
you know? But I still think it needed a bit more polish on the like movement, the controls, maybe making it a little bit more responsive, you know? And did you ever post this in the Jam News? Actually, the stream?
Nope, I sure didn't. Let me try and do that right now. Oh, there we go. Yeah,
Okay.
I was struggling with it because I had the full screen set up so I could see what you were doing.
Fair enough. But yeah, I definitely like I was trying to follow along with the story, and I feel like it needed a little bit more introduction on what we were doing there, because it felt like the doctor was just telling us, get us this thing, and then Carlos was kind of guiding us and everything. Like I thought a lot of the mechanics were pretty cool, but it was just they needed a little more cohesiveness, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm picking up what you're putting down there.
This was a great game. I do really enjoy it, and it was impressive that you did it in such a short period.
Right? Yeah, that's another thing that we should probably highlight.
Yeah.
Everybody had 10 days, start to finish, to figure out what they were going to put together.
And this one really put a lot of stuff in there. I think they might have overshot and needed a little bit more time to kind of hone on a lot of this stuff in. But it was definitely a fun thing to see and everything. And it definitely could have used a settings menu or at least an info panel to tell you what the controls were.
Totally agree. Totally agree. So, all right, I'm going to kind of go through and talk about some of my thoughts. So, first and foremost, looking at this from a gamer's perspective and absolutely respecting the fact that this was done in 10 days, right? So, the lens that I'm going to look at this is as if I'm going into a rough alpha for a game to, help a developer out. So I'm looking at it. All right, right out of the gate, I can tell that there's a bit of this story that's building. Okay, so that's pretty cool. Obviously, as a gamer, I do want to feel like I'm part of the story. And I think with the tutorial, right, I'm a huge fan of show not tell. So
Hmm.
kind of just giving me like a screen pop up and press all these keys. That's cool. It works. But one thing that I did notice is that there were other things I could do that I figured out just by accidentally pressing a key. Um, so in situations like that, what I would say, a way that you can, kind of elevate your tutorials is to aim to bring the player to be able to do the things you want them to do by having them overcome some obstacle with that. So let's say for the aiming purpose, right? Like just I randomly figured out if I hit Alt, it would zoom in. So maybe at one particular point, it could be like, oh wow, there's someone off in the distance. Like, hey, let's hold down the Alt key so we can zoom in on that and see if you can take the shot or something like that, right? So fun and engagement. I enjoyed the gameplay. What I really struggled with though, and you touched upon this, was the responsivity. It was really detracting from it, and unfortunately, in situations like this, right, especially when you're competing, that's a huge one, right? Like fun and engagement is always going to be your heaviest weighted category. So looking at this from a dev perspective, you really need to make sure that you've hammered in um, what your functionality is of the game, right? So even if you have to do that completely in code with shapes before you start applying all of your assets, like that's really a good spot to start, in my humble opinion. So now let's talk about the theme use. Well,
So
obviously there
it.
was no theme use whatsoever,
Mhm.
but
However, actually, thinking about the theme use, the just one button theme, they that might have been a good reason for the mouse look around movement to be as um like sticky as it was. They might have been thinking of it as you can do one input at a time,
okay.
if that makes any sense.
Yeah,
But
I could see that.
I still definitely agree it was an interesting use of the theme, and so I'm going to give them 2 stars for the theme use,
Fair.
just because it was an interesting way, and I can kind of like stretch my beliefs and think that might be it, but that's gonna be about it.
All right. Well, let's talk about our visual presentation next. So
Okay.
I love the fact that all the assets they match, right? You've kind of got that
Hmm.
low res, but it
Hmm.
nothing looks out of place in the world. It all looks like it belongs together. So
Hmm.
I definitely can't
Hmm.
find really any faults with that, even from a gamer perspective or from a dev perspective. Love when things are
Hmm.
cohesive like that.
Hmm. Oh yeah, I should probably pull up the scorecard so I can get the actual proper scoring in.
Yeah, so I've got the itch page open right now on my screen, just with the
Hmm.
game and the stars. So I'm kind of setting the stars as we're going and talking about this.
Hmm. So this is right off the bat what I've got my ratings up at this moment as well.
Yeah. So sound and music, yeah, absolutely. I mean,
Hmm.
we had voiceover, uh,
Yeah, that
despite
was
the fact
impressive
that
to see.
right, despite the fact that it's AI. I mean, that's still just a nice touch, right? A little bit of flavor, a little bit of flair. You had sound effects
And
for the gun
honestly,
firing. You had
hmm
sound effects for the car driving. There's cool stuff, right?
and honestly, I do think that the Vocaloid um, voice acting definitely helped sell the game as that like low budget kind of vibe. It definitely made it
Yeah.
feel more cohesive. If it had like legitimate voice acting, it would have felt very out of place.
That's that's a really good point that you bring up there. You're absolutely right.
Hmm.
That probably would have actually scratched against the chalkboard a little bit more for me. Huh.
Hmm.
All right. So let's talk about technical execution. What are your thoughts there?
As for technical execution, I feel like it had a lot of really cool technical elements to it. It just needed to be meshed together a little better. So each individual part is wonderful in and of itself, and it just needs to be executed a little differently, you know?
Yeah.
If that makes any sense whatsoever, I'm not 100% sure.
No, I think I'm picking up what you're putting down, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
every piece was there, right? It's almost like
Mm-hmm.
so somebody dumped the puzzle out in front of you. It's like all the pieces are there, but you
Mm-hmm.
know, maybe they're pieces from some different puzzles, right? They may not necessarily be
Yeah.
meshing well together, right? So you've got all your pieces, but they're not really being assembled in the correct order.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think I could give them 3 stars for that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, originality. I think this is where I'm gonna have to say, I think 4 stars for this, given the scope of what they're dealing with. Um,
Mm-hmm.
this is pretty cool, right? I don't think I've ever played a game where I'm trying to assist a hospital in finding a cure for something. Would have loved to maybe find out a little bit more in the story, but it's just
Mm-hmm.
it's not really something that I've had to deal with. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, 4 stars, original.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And then for
polish.
polish, I gave it 2 stars because it had some the visuals were what was kind of polished. It just needed more mechanical polishing and a lot more mechanical
You took the words
yeah.
right out of my mouth. Like that's kind of
Mhm.
exactly what I was feeling, right? Pretty to look
Mhm.
at, everything's cohesive.
Mhm.
It's I mean, for me, it literally was unplayable, right? Like I ended up breaking the
Yeah.
look around function twice. So I could
Yeah.
definitely I could work with that.
Mhm.
So we're gonna go ahead and
Okay.
save the ratings for that. As far as the
Mhm.
feedback goes, we're gonna fill that section out a little bit later, just so that way, you know, we don't have video of us just sitting here typing the feedback. But thank you so much for your submission, Arl Games.
Absolutely.
This is
This
great.
one is fun. I cannot wait to see where this goes. I do think you're onto something. You just need to polish it a little more, maybe expand on it a little bit. Maybe like I don't know, different hospitals or something. Maybe like level selection or like some sort of story would definitely go a long way in this game. And I hope to see this continued.
Absolutely. All right.
Okay.
Guess how about I pick the next one?
Absolutely. We've got all of the browser games left, so
Let's pop open Pogo.
Pogo? Okay.
Pogo. Oh, yep, we'll be able to play it right in the browser. Love it.
Mm-hmm. Makes it easy now that we don't have to worry about getting a whole bunch of different files and everything. Okay.
So, right off the bat, I love the little splash screen right in the start. You know, little custom logo for who we're working with. So, okay.
It definitely makes it feel a little more professional. Looks like it's got 5 levels and then credits.
Ooh,
Oh, and the credits are playable as well.
there's some nice ambiance going on here. Hold space to jump. Hold it longer to jump higher. Aim your jump with the mouse. Note, try to keep your mouse away from your character. Oh, look at that. It's even got a little warning when the mouse gets too close.
I went to the credits first, and now I'm stuck. So I'm going to go ahead and reboot the game.
First thing I'm going to try to do, as every gamer should, is I'm going to try to break the game.
That's exactly what I just did. I love that. Hold space to jump, hold it longer to jump higher, aim your jump with the mouse. No, try to keep your mouse away from the character. Yeah.
Oh, I'm totally understanding now their use of the theme here. Oh, this is great.
Mm-hmm. I love the bananas. Oh. And it looks like the bananas are just collect them once, you collect them forever.
Okay. And a little Donkey Kong here, huh?
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's got I love switches.
This game is so simple and yet so pretty. This is nice.
This is exactly what I would imagine a cool math game to be like. And it looks like if you spend too long in one place, it will send you back.
Oh.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
it's got a little sound effect for it and everything.
So that's a real cool way to prevent you from getting stuck.
Especially in some of these like spiky bits where you can't actually get out. Ah.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see. That's like a split level. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
So I went down first, got the key, got the banana.
I went up first, and so
Oh.
I have to go all the way back and down.
And this is a challenging little jump puzzle. Okay. I hold the spacebar just the right amount. Here. Or if I can just skip that jump. We're gonna try it. We are gamers! Ah, you totally can. Okay.
Ah. Okay, I already got the banana, so I just need the key. There we go.
Oh no.
This one's a fun one. Oh yeah, I gotta switch it again. There we go.
Ooh, did I find a secret? I did! I found the secret banana!
There was a secret one, or was it just in that lower level?
The next...
Or-
This level, there's a secret
Oh, the
banana.
third level.
Yeah, I just checked to see which one you were playing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm liking it. This is such a clever use of one button. This is great.
Mm-hmm. And it's so fun, and the visuals all work really well together. I love the scratchy look of everything. And it still definitely guides you along. Oh, I think I see where the secret banana is. Oops.
That's gonna be a tricky jump. Ooh, got it.
Oh.
Oh, I just figured out what the little hash marks going through the level are. They show you what the switch controls.
Oh, yeah. That was definitely a smart thing to implement. I definitely think a setting to control the audio level would definitely be a smart thing to implement. But other than that, I'm struggling to think of anything that would... Like, this is a really fleshed out game.
Amazing what people can do with just a short amount of time, one prompt. Bravo. I mean, I want to finish this game. That's how much I'm enjoying this. Ooh, like I did not.
Ooh, I'm getting so good.
Ooh. Ooh, ooh, that was close.
Okay, that one's got hash marks on it, so...
Oh my gosh, I have to go all the switch again? Oh, jeez.
Oh? Secret banana.
Found a secret banana in this level? I haven't found that one yet.
Yep. A nice, interesting thing to look for is gonna be... Ah, fuck, I soft-locked myself.
Oh no.
And as ironic as it is to say that it could use a restart key as well, I do not think that that would be like against the one button in my opinion if you hadn't one key, because now I gotta go ahead and I think I'm on 4, but
I didn't find the banana in this level. bad.
Was it level 3? No, it was level 4. So there are little scratched in arrows that appear to help you out a little bit. Oh wait, no, I was on level 5. Oh.
Here's a switch for your enjoyment. So level 5 is the credit level. Ah,
Level
wow.
level 5 is right before the credit level.
Oh, it is. Wait, what?
And I'm not going to have every single banana.
Oh, they took your bananas
Unless I wanna
away?
go. Yeah, because I had to restart um, I had to refresh my scene because there was no way to go back to the main menu or restart a level. So that's another thing you're going to want to think about. But I'll at least have this secret banana.
Oh, that's where the banana was? Oh,
You
man.
can see because there's that little
Yeah.
scratched in arrow.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
actually how I found the last one as well. And that's definitely the part that's getting me soft locked because I'll die on the way back.
Oh, I see what
And
you
I'll
mean
just get
now.
locked in
So that
here.
way it resets you, but now you
Mhm.
can't open that because the switch has been flipped.
And then I gotta. So that's another thing that you're gonna want to think about. But let me go to the credits. But yeah, this was a really fun game. I really enjoyed this one. Like this one's gonna get some pretty high scores.
Right. Do you want to lead us off on the discussion about this one?
Absolutely. Okay, so right off the bat, as a gamer, this is something that I would be playing all the time in like my math class when I'm just sitting on my Chromebook playing cool math games, doing anything but paying attention to this to the lessons. Like this is a really fun and really fleshed out game. All I would say is I want more of it. Like maybe um yeah, give us more, you know. Give us a couple more levels, give us like new mechanics or something like that in future levels, etc. This was a really really fun game. For fun and engagement, I'm definitely giving it 5 stars. And theme use, I've also got to say 5 star, just because it is literally just one button, unless you count like clicking on your mouse to select the level. What about you? So with fun and engagement, what do you think?
I mean, honestly, I gotta say, I loved that analogy you made. Just like this game that you'd kind of be like fiddling around with when, you probably should be doing something else. It's just the simplicity behind it, but the ability. All right, how do I want to word this? Yes, this is an amazingly fun game, given the constraints, the visuals. They're so pretty to look at. I'm loving that ambient music that's happening in the background. Um, yeah, I 5 stars, fun and engagement for me.
Hmm.
Absolutely easy. And then on
Hmm.
theme use, I mean, they nailed it. Absolutely nailed it. There
Hmm.
is one button. I mean, you can obviously look
Hmm.
around with the mouse, but clicking that isn't doing anything. It's the
Hmm.
amount of control that you set up, right? So like holding the space bar, you're going to go further. A little tap of the space bar, you don't go as far. That's absolutely perfect. It kind of makes
Hmm.
me think of another game I've seen that kind of utilized the same theme, right? It had to do with utilizing that same function. Like holding the button would do something different versus tapping the button versus like a long hold, let go of the button, things like that. It's just absolutely amazing. Great, awesome use of the theme. And then, of course,
Hmm.
visual presentation. Already said that. That's absolutely off the charts.
Hmm.
Sound and music. It got me
Sound and
feeling.
music. I'm gonna go ahead and give this 4 stars for sound and music, simply because you can't mess with the sound and music, and that's one thing with me a lot. Um, I gotta say, like, I'm always changing the volumes of like my YouTube videos, my Discord calls. Like, I think you're at like an 87% volume for me.
Hmm.
I've got like everything in my thing is very set up very specifically with my sound, and so I do really, really think it needed a volume slider. But that was like my only note. Everything about it was really fun, and everything worked really well. I think was there one moment? I'm gonna go ahead and actually check. Was there a sound effect for jumping? Yes, there was.
Mm-hmm.
And it worked pretty well, and I had to look for it. Like, that's just how good this is. Like, I think if it had an option for the volume, it would be a 5-star, 100%. But again, it is a game jam game. It makes sense.
We have somebody watching. They just said something in chat, and I'm trying so hard to read it.
It says, "Hey, I'm the one that posted the arm cannon training game. I miss much of the stream? Arm cannon training.
Yeah, we
Or
haven't
arm
gotten to
blaster
that one
training?
yet.
Not yet. We've gotten through Code Red Hospital, and we just finished Pogo. So we'll go ahead and get to all of them eventually in this stream, but we got to make sure that we give everyone a fair shot and we give everyone their feedback. But thank you for submitting it as well. That's absolutely wonderful.
Lost my train of thought.
Now, technical execution. What do you think of technical execution?
I mean, I think other than that soft lock that you experienced, I think that was done super well. I can't give it 5 stars just because obviously a soft lock is a huge issue. You know, when you're thinking of those things, right? We do have to, or I can't give that one 5 stars, but I'm still gonna give it 4 stars because again, it's so simple, it's so pretty, everything just works together really well.
It does fit really well. And also, if the creator Solar Punch Games, if you're watching this, definitely look up how to get your thing posted to Cool Math Games. I've looked it up. It's very, very simple. Seriously, it's like a Google form. You could totally get this on there. They'll help you. They'll give you full creative liberty. They'll give you money for it being on there, etc., etc. I totally suggest this goes up there. But definitely fix some of the small things, like make sure to double check with everyone, make sure there's no actual soft locks in there. Maybe update the checkpoints when you go back to a new one, to a previous one, you know? And then have some options available to them as well. Technical execution, I've also got to agree with the 4-star, simply because getting soft lock is not fun, and especially when there is no way to go back to the main menu or to restart the level, you know?
Yeah.
But then originality, I gotta say, 5-star. Like, this is a one-of-a-kind game. Like, I've seen games that are kind of akin to it with, like, just basic puzzle games, but for the most part, this is pretty original. Like, it's something you would see on Cool Math Games, yeah.
I definitely have to echo those sentiments. I don't think I can give it 5 stars. It's really close for me, but there's just and you kind of touched on it, right? Like it is one of those puzzle games, and unfortunately, there's really only so much you can do with puzzle games and one button. I think
that is a fair point.
The obstacles to overcome. I mean, you know, like platforming, jumping, things like that. It's good. It is good, but I don't think it really tickled me in that 5-star.
You're gonna give it 4-star. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
And moving on to polish.
Honestly, 5-star. It was pretty polished. There was no major bugs other than like we said already, that one single soft lock.
Yep.
Or at least the one single one that we could find. Actually, I can't even think of any other soft locks happening other than maybe in that double level where you had to go to the bottom and then get to the top.
Yeah, where
But
there's potential
there was
warp
no
backs.
real death in that one, and the top one has warp backs to specific points. So I think that would have been the only soft lock. And so
I think for those same reasons, I got to give it 4, not 5. It is again. I want to give this game all 5 stars. I do, but at the same time, I have to take into consideration that this is only the second game we've also looked at, right? And I don't want to have to go back after I've played something else and then look at it and be like, okay, so this was really done well. Visuals, technical execution, originally, everything about it just very wrapped up, sweet, good polish, everything flows. But even one bug, right? Like, I mean, 5 is perfection. It's just, it blows me away.
Actually,
It
that is a
absolutely
fair
floors
point.
me.
Yeah.
It's 4 stars easy, but almost
Mhm.
5 stars. So
Okay.
I do want to say,
So then,
Solar Punch
yeah,
Games, keep at it, keep doing things like this.
yeah, this was
Perfect.
so far out of the 2 that we've looked at, this is my favorite one, and that is not a strike on like the hospital game. What was that one called?
Code Red
Uh,
Hospital.
yeah, that is not a strike on Code Red Hospital. Again, your game was wonderful. Pogo has my heart now.
All right. Well,
Okay,
Pogo's got your
so
heart. Why don't you pick the next game we play?
mhm. Actually, since Walker Vin Shorts was asking about arm cannon training,
Oh,
I say we try that one.
I love it. All right. Hey, hopefully you're still watching, Walker. We're gonna pop open your game and check it out.
Hmm. Okay. Press space to shoot the dummy. Each milestone unlocks a new skin for the dummy. Try to react 1,000 to unlock the end game reward. Secret skin at 10,000.
Our scoreboard. I think I see our dummy. Spacebar. That's a cute little sound effect.
Literally you just keep pressing spacebar.
Okay.
Oh, and if you hold it down. Ooh.
Oh,
And it's changing slightly,
look at
it looks
that.
like, at different milestones. I do like that you can hold it down. If I had to press 1,000 times, I was definitely not going to keep this up, but
What, you don't
I'm already
want to
halfway
you don't
to...
want to press a key 1,000 times?
No, I really don't.
All right, this is cute. Oh, look at that. He's got a little hat now.
Yeah.
I think I am gonna stop this at 1,000.
I don't think I can make it to 10,000 because I don't really... Ooh, it's Golden Freddy.
Oh,
Oh, maybe I will go to the secret level. Okay, but if I go to the secret one, I'm going to have to do that on my own later on.
all right.
But this is a really... okay, so since I picked it out, would you like to go ahead and start us off with the ratings?
So first things first. Looking at this, I mean, it's cute, right? This little guy with his little gun shooting the dummy, and the dummy changes over time as things go, right? Like there's definitely a recipe here for a pretty cool game. And I will say, the little animation after hitting the spacebar, I don't know. There's just something about that hair getting blown back, and the character like, ah! I don't know. It's very endearing. It's very charming, right?
It's got the impact, yeah.
Exactly. I will say, as a gamer, just strictly looking at this from the gamer lens, I have absolutely no desire to go beyond 1,000. And there's one reason why. It's the sound effect. It's cool, but hearing it,
it does
just
get repetitive, yeah.
it feels very repetitive, right? It kind of grates on you a little bit. So I mean, I do, like you said, I want to see what happens when you get to 10,000. I mean, if this skin is going to keep changing, the higher the number goes, right? This is the pure dopamine response that you find in many idle games, right? It's the whole reason why idle games are successful. It's the whole reason why people make money off of things that are so simple, right? Like there's
just seeing that number grow. Yeah.
Bingo, right? So with that in mind, if I'm thinking about this from like a game dev perspective now, like what are some things that you could potentially add to this to really tap into that dopamine response? Maybe, perchance, you could set it up so the mouse aims, and then based on where you hit the dummy, maybe it gives you a bigger score, right? So maybe like it isn't so much you want to hold it, but you could shoot the dummy in different areas, get a different score. You could get different effects happening every once in a while, like a random array of different things that can happen as you're doing this, right? Because you're trying to get the flashes, you're trying to get the brain to just feel that candy, that eye candy, that sound candy. So yeah, you've got a really good formula here to work with.
It just needs some extra work. Although I do also have to say, I do believe that this one was made using Scratch, I would assume.
Scratch. Not familiar with that.
It's that drag and drop one with the orange cat. It was made by MIT so that kids could get into um, coding and everything. And it's pretty much just a bunch of
Oh.
code blocks that you can piece together. I'll admit, it does work. It's absolutely a terrifying way to use. It's a terrifying way to code, but it does work. I think I made a golfing game in it once.
Huh.
But it's the score one is the one that made me think of Scratch, because if you look up at the top it says score and then 0. That's one of their assets that you can use,
Okay. All right.
So with it being made in Scratch, I gotta say this is impressive. Like I didn't know you could do a press and hold in Scratch. But as for fun and engagement, I've got to go ahead and say probably 2.5. I'm gonna round up to 3 stars, just because you were right. There's a good formula here. You just need more responsiveness. And then for theme use, it is perfect. There is one button. That is it.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I mean, I kind of already tapped on that, right?
Yeah.
So I gotta go with 3 stars as well for fun and engagement. Although I'm kind of almost leaning a little bit more towards 4, but I have this absolute sick obsession with incremental games, so they always touch this soft spot for me. And I gotta say, I mean, the challenge was one button. You executed that perfectly with the theme use, and you got the dopamine response in my brain to trigger. Definitely could have increased the fun and engagement factor with a little bit more, just a little bit more flavor happening. And that unfortunately that laser blaster sound happening over and over, that did pull me out of it. It did detract from it. That's why I'm like, oh, I don't know if I want to keep going. I mean, if I turn the volume off, again, incremental game, I want to see what happens when you get all the way up there.
Yeah.
So it's gonna happen, just not on stream. Visual presentation, simple, easy, looks good. I'm gonna give that a 3 stars. Sound
Honestly,
and music.
I'm right there with you with the 3-star for visual presentation. It makes sense because it's very simple, very straightforward, and it works well.
Unfortunately for sound and music, again, that repeating laser blast, I gotta give you a single star for that. It's one of those weird things, right? And now this is going to be the gamer lens that I'm looking at. If you've got something in there, right? Like, always think about what is the purpose of it? What is it doing? Is it enhancing anything? If you just throw a sound effect at something because, somebody once upon a time told you, it's like, oh yeah, you need game juice, you need polish, just add it. While that's not necessarily bad advice, being very cognizant of what they're doing and what their purpose is in there can be a huge turn on or a huge turn off for gamers in general. Again, I'm a perfect example right here. Love incremental games, love the dopamine response I got. The sound effect though just pulled me right out of it, and that's it. Wouldn't want me to keep going with it. So something that I would say as a game dev to you, Walker Vin, when you are looking at that, really analyze why you're adding in the juice, where you're adding it, what is its purpose, what is it going to do for the game, and how would the gamer respond to it. Now, we can be a little personally biased when we're looking at things like that. So, and this kind of comes into something we touched on with the other games, having a friend just even kind of play through it real quick to get their first impression of it can definitely help you avoid certain pitfalls like that. So, good work for that. Yep.
Absolutely. And yeah, with sound and music, I gotta say 1 star as well. I feel like if it did have that sound effect, it would be a lot better if it had background music, or something to kind of distract you from it. But I definitely agree that that sound effect does definitely get grating. If you were keen on having it, you could maybe try having random sound effects, maybe like an array of like 5 options that could be, or something like that. But you did a very good job. um, sound and music is definitely just needing some work. Technical execution. What do you think?
Personally, I got to give this one 4 stars. I mean, they got the assignment, they did the assignment. It's within expectation. The execution
Yeah.
of it is fine. You didn't need
hmm
anything beyond what you have.
Yeah, there's no need for any menus or anything. You just jump straight into the game. It's snappy, it works. I agree. Originality, what do you think?
I'm I'm torn between 3 and 4 stars here. Now,
Hmm.
it's really, really difficult to be original when it comes to incremental and idle games. Like
hmm
it's almost like looking at something like The Simpsons, right? Like everything's been done.
hmm
It's all been done. What are
hmm
you bringing to this table? And it's actually one of the reasons why that market is so absolutely saturated with games. But the reason that I'm leaning between the 3 and 4 stars is, I mean, eh, some cute little animations, right? I love the fact that
hmm
the alien's little costume changed. Okay, so maybe not, super original in the sense of uh, the incremental aspect of it, but just, you definitely worked hard on your own assets. That's pretty cool. I like that. I
hmm
respect that. So definitely, you know what?
hmm
We're gonna go with the 3 stars there. Good job.
I'm gonna have to agree with you on that. It is a very tough thing to make something original with something as widespread as that. It's a big reason why so many things like computer science majors are now struggling because it's oversaturated because no
Mm.
one was original with it. Um, but it's just because it is difficult to do. And yeah, I do think you did a really cute way of doing it. It worked out well, and you did a good job. And for polish, I think I'm gonna have to give it 2 star, simply because there was nothing really to polish. Um, the only thing I would change is probably that sound effect, making it. Um, I feel like having that in or out would have, or like messing with that a little bit more would have added to that polish.
Yeah, I think that's kind of like my thoughts exactly, right? For what it
hmm
is, it's got all the polish. Um,
hmm
the sound effect takes away from that. Definitely, there could have been some extra areas to add in some stuff. I'm not exactly sure what you came down to for time. How much time you actually had to work on it. But again, taking into consideration, you made all of those assets yourself, right? And especially if you don't find yourself very artistically inclined, that's a difficult challenge. That is a big feat, right? So I would almost say
Actually,
that that's probably somewhere where you could have taken even a little bit more time to add some polish. Maybe even some extra things with the costumes, right? Like they don't have to be these Studio Ghibli quality animations or visuals,
Mhm.
but maybe give us more every instead of I think it was every couple hundred where his little outfit changed. Maybe make it even more frequently, right? Give him more silly hats that he cycles through.
I
Maybe a
love the
coat
silly
here or
hats.
there, right? Like something like that. That could have just it would have pushed it up a little bit higher, having a little bit more variety in there. Wouldn't have even had to look anything in any particular way, just having a little bit more variety to it, a little bit more feedback for the player, I think would have been the
hmm
polish you're looking for with an incremental idle game such as that.
hmm And then, yeah, pretty
So,
much, yeah, everything worked well. I think that's about it.
one thing that I
So,
I do want to say before we keep going on, unfortunately, I'm coming down to the wire where I've got about 18 minutes left. I thought we were going to scooch through these a lot quicker. Don't get me wrong. I'm so
ooh,
glad that we are taking the
hmm
time to really play through them and really check these out.
hmm
But it is, you know, we said this in the beginning, guys. This is a rough draft. We've never done this before. We're experimenting with what's going to work well, what isn't. It seems like we may unintentionally need
have
to
to.
do another stream in the future,
hmm
or we may need to
Yeah.
adjust kind of how we're doing this based on how much time
hmm
it's taking. So we're definitely going to be able to get through at least one more in this stream, and then
Okay.
Peter and I will talk a little bit
hmm
beside or behind the scenes, as
The
it were,
scenes.
to
Yeah.
figure out what can work better. Um, all right. Let's see which one do we want to do next? I think we should try out either Bit Golf or
Mhm.
Too Many Limits. I think that should be our next ones that we try out. What do you think?
I say bit golf.
All right, bit golf it is. I gotta say, I'm a sucker for little mini golf games. So
Mhm.
I'm glad you chose this one.
Dude, I love mini golf so much. I'm so good at it.
Oh,
Okay.
that's cool. All right, so right off the bat, as a gamer brain, you've sucked me in immediately with the little trail behind the mouse. Like, thank you. I love stuff like that. I'm looking at the visuals going on here. You know, you've got some really cool effects going on with your text. There we go. That's what I was trying to get at. Yeah.
Over par. Oh, you have to retry if you're over par. Ooh, okay.
Okay. So it looks like it's a pull back. So that's always really really good to know for games like these, right? Like sometimes it's a push forward to gauge your power. Sometimes it's a pullback. Personal preference, I love the pullback, so I think this is great for me. Ooh. Let's see. 10. Get hole in 2. Uh-oh. Oh no. It looks like I'm over par.
Under par. Congratulations. Yeah. Hole 2 was fun. Oh, there's snails now. Oh, and they're just walls.
I like how the color of the ball changes based on whether or not you can, in fact, interact with it. That's a nice little touch.
I told you that I was absolutely goated at mini golf. I got 2 of them under par. And I just completed the game.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I'll say...
Yeah, there's 3 levels. Oh, that's a fun... That was fun. They got stuck on a snail.
Got stuck on a snail? Oh!
Yeah.
Oh, under par. Fantastic. I didn't think that shot was going to work, but it did. Oh, that's what you mean. Okay, so these snails are moving obstacles. Good to know.
And I think I just like clipped at the very perfect angle to get it stuck, but like it ended up having this really interesting noise. Like the collision noise just kept repeating because it got stuck on it.
Oh no.
Okay.
Whew. Wow, getting under par on this one is tricky.
No, it isn't.
Maybe I can bounce it perfectly. Oh, got it.
Patience.
Got it. He's a gamer. Wait, there's a second snail level? Or did I just accidentally retry this one?
I think you retried it. Because you can. No. There is a restart button at the top corner.
Oh, correct.
And if you finish it, it'll say congrats on finishing the game, and it'll just restart you. Okay, so fun engagement. I gotta say, I definitely felt engaged in it. I loved the little animations in the background. I loved how everything kind of moved in like the little wiggle wobble that was happening with everything. It definitely pulls you in and it just keeps your attention there. And that's a very tough thing to accomplish. I definitely gotta say 5-star.
I'm gonna absolutely 110% agree with you there. I mean, short, sweet, to the point. I enjoyed every second of that. I think the physics were done really well. You know, the physics weren't infuriating, right? And as a gamer, I mean, that's a huge, huge thing, especially when you're playing like mini golf or pool or anything where you're trying to utilize math, right? If the math don't math, people get mad. But that was perfect. Very well done. Fun and engagement. 5 stars.
Absolutely. Okay, now theme use. 5-star again. One button, you click, you drag, it gets sent.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. That's
yeah.
I can't really add anything to that. It just you did it. Yeah. One button. Nice job.
Visual presentation. I gotta say again, 5 stars. This is probably more visually appealing than Pogo even, just because everything's moving around, everything feels like it's cohesive, and nothing's distracting you from the main objective. it's just all working.
That's an amazingly good point that you bring up in game dev for gamers. Your background should not distract the player, right? Like it absolutely shouldn't. If you keep sucking the player out of their immersion with things that are going on, it's just not going to work.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've got to go with 4 stars here.
Okay.
It's I mean it's like right in between. Obviously, the big scorecards that we're going to be working on for you guys, it's not, you know, a 1 through 5 stars. Like there's like an actual whole point system that's also going to take into consideration utilizing your own assets, solo development, things like that. I mean, for me, this is like right between 5 and 4, and I don't know what it is that isn't letting me give this a 5 star, because it's very well presented visually. It's pretty. I like how the animation kicks in to show you when you're almost at full power, when you are at full power. I love the little line that draws from the ball to show you where things are going to go. I mean, it's good, right? From a technical standpoint, that's good. That's great. And then, you know, you've got a little bit going on with your background that isn't distracting. Again, it's really well done. So here's where I think that for me, it could have added a little bit more. We get to that third and final level. It's snail shaped. There's snails crawling around on it. That's awesome. That's a great visual presentation. I think maybe if your first and second level had something similar, not necessarily a snail or another animal, but just like some kind of shape to it that also played into something else that was going on, I think that would have been like the bump for me between 4 and 5 stars there.
So you just want more of it, I see.
Yes. I want
And then
more.
sound and music. I honestly didn't even notice the music.
Yeah, there's some nice little soft yacht rock going on in the background. It's perfect for mini golf.
Yeah. It's like elevator music and it works perfectly. And like the little sound effect whenever you hit the ball or whenever you end up bouncing off the walls or anything like that, it works out pretty well. Now, I do have to say, as much as I do like it, I cannot give it 5 stars, so I'm gonna give it a low 4, simply because that collision sound effect, when I got stuck on the snail, it did mess with me a little bit. I was like, oh, what the heck is going on here? You know?
That's a really good point. So from the dev lens with that, right? Now that's something tricky, right? Because obviously edge cases are always going to be something that if you have a lot more development time, you're going to be able to kind of hammer out, right? But in shorter windows, it can be really difficult to find those edge cases. So here we have an example of that. You ran into an edge case. So a lot of times as a game developer, you almost want to try to program or have a flow to your programming where edge cases like that just can't even begin to start. So for example, you have some kind of buffer after the sound effect happens, where it'll make some kind of check to make sure that it isn't doing something like that, right? Where it's just like repeating itself over and over and over. And I mean, that's just for a sound effect example. Obviously, you can utilize that same kind of buffer for so many other things within your code to eliminate potential edge cases like that in the future. So, you know, I was going to give that 5 stars for sound and music, just because I'm digging the little yacht rock, you know, got some nice sound effects. But you having experienced that right there, that is something that absolutely should be taken into consideration. And it's a good area to look at for growth when we're looking here, dat and dev, right? Like this is really good. This is really good. So trying to find those things, where are some areas that you can improve upon to make it so future projects that you do, especially in shorter time frames, you'll be able to avoid pitfalls like that. So setting up buffers around instances that happen within your code for sound effects or a visual splash, that's another good time to include those as well. That's a great area to experiment a little bit with edge cases. That actually gives me a great idea for next week's challenge.
That works wonderfully. And then another idea that might work with that, just from the game dev perspective, is maybe give them with the moving obstacles, because it was only with the moving obstacles that I got the edge case, and it was when it was moving towards it at the same time. So I'm assuming it got stuck there because it kept trying to move away, but the snail kept moving back into it. What I would suggest is giving it a little bit of an extra boost to send it flying a little further and faster away. It could work out a little bit like that simply because physics, a moving object, is going to have a little bit more momentum to send out, but it would also help prevent that, like even a small buffer amount, just to make sure that you get sent a little bit extra, would probably help fix that a little bit. And for technical execution, I have to give it the 4-star again for that exact same issue. Everything else, though, was wonderful. I loved the math. I loved that the line renderer bent to show you exactly what was where it was going to go and everything like that. It worked out really well. But yeah, I have to give it 4-star because of that one bug.
Fair enough. So I think me looking at technical execution, I think it's similar to that, but I think what maybe I would focus on for why I'm going to give it 4 stars, right? Not for the same reasons. So with
Okay.
technical execution, there wasn't really how do I want to phrase this? There were some things that were a little bit off. Now,
Mhm.
the gamer in me liked this, okay? So you couldn't overshoot the hole, right? Like when you were at that
Yes.
final bit, you could just absolutely plow that ball right into the hole and it was fine, right? So
Mhm.
when we're looking at this from, okay, you're trying to create mini golf, right? And so far, everything
Mhm.
physics wise, right? It's very technical. It's very executed very well. And then we get to that. The gamer in me is like,
Mhm.
oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. I love the fact that I could just drive this right into the hole. But then the developer in me is like, okay, that kind of breaks my immersion in the physics of this
Mhm.
game, right? So it starts to beg the
Okay.
question, which physics are being respected, which aren't, and it
Mhm.
just it's it's nitpicky. It's a little bit nitpicky, honestly, but that's the reason why I'm gonna go with
Mhm.
4 out of 5 stars.
Mhm. And then, what do you think about originality?
So unfortunately, um, mini golf itself isn't super original. Mini golf games,
Mhm.
not super original.
Mhm.
I think your take on it, I liked it. It's cute. It was really well done. It works very well for the theme of the game jam.
Mhm.
I think I'm gonna have to go with 3 stars, but not without some notes on some simple things that could have been added to this that would have bumped that even to 4 and 5 stars. But I kind of touched on this with the visual presentation, right? Having different wacky things in the level or just different visuals, right? That bring in some of your own personality into a game of mini golf a little bit more. Maybe adding in some sound effects, like if you bump into the snail with the ball, it maybe like, "Oh, excuse me," just little things like that, right? You've taken an idea, you've taken a theme that's very done. I mean, it's mini golf, right?
Mhm.
So to really bump that up to the 4 and the 5 star area, you've got to start thinking about, you know, where are some areas that I can add to this experience that maybe hasn't necessarily been done in another game, right? Be it a sound effect, be it a visual polish, be it a level design, be it an interaction with the ball. Um, Maybe there's a spot in the map that the gravity shifts and changes as you're playing through, right? Like something like
Mhm.
that. So that's where I'm at for originality on this.
Mhm. And that definitely makes sense. For that same reason, I'm probably going to go ahead and agree with you, and I'm going to give it 3 stars as well. Like you said, it's mini golf. There's not too many ways you can make it original. The only way you could probably do that is with a much more fully fledged game and a lot more time than 10 days. So I definitely got to agree with you on that. And then for polish, I've got to say probably 4 stars as well, simply because um, it could use a little bit of polishing for that one bug. But other than that, everything was really well polished. The visuals looked really nice. The um, different maps were all well thought out, and everything worked pretty well.
Yeah, that's where I'm at for polish as well. 4 stars,
Hmm.
same reasons. So just some
Hmm.
closing thoughts on this one. as a gamer, I had fun with this. This was really good.
Mhm.
Nice job. Well done. As a game dev, just kind of touch on some of those points that we were talking about. Testing for your edge cases, setting up buffers within your own code to help mitigate the potential for any edge cases,
Mhm.
and just some areas where you can add a little extra polish, a little more originality, and a little more flavor for your own thing. But yeah, good job. Well done.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, we are right at time, so this is where I have to end everything for today. Like I said, guys,
Absolutely.
we will absolutely. We're going to talk behind the scenes. We're going to figure out
Mhm.
how we can get through the rest of these because I did promise you
Yeah.
every single game was going to be played on a live stream, and I don't want to
Mhm.
not do that for you guys. I'm not about making promises and not delivering them.
Mhm.
Obviously, how we went about this, we're gonna have to figure that out a little bit. Maybe set a timer for how much time we spend playing, set a
Mhm.
timer for how long we spend on, going over our feedback. But either way,
Mhm.
we're going to go back to the drawing board. We'll get back to you. Don't worry. There's going to be an update in Jam News on how this is going to go down. Thank you so much to everybody who participated in this game jam. I hope you guys had an absolute blast. I've been enjoying this process so far, and I'm really, really looking forward to getting into this and streamlining this process a lot more in the future. So thanks again, guys,
Mhm.
and we will absolutely see you in the next one.